Usually, I receive a lot of questions, such as dream interpretation, wish, practice, difficult problems. Because I am sometimes too busy, I can reply one by one, so I can only answer selectively. About asking Brother Miaoxin to observe the cause and effect 1. Question 1. May I ask Brother Miaoxin to see the cause and effect? What is my fate? What was my previous life like? Question 2. Hello, brother, can you please help me watch it? I have studied Buddhism for many years, and I always feel that some obstacles can be broken, and my heart can open mend, often drowsy, difficult to make progress. What is the reason? How can I break through these obstacles? Since I was in the blog after writing many deeds of Brother Miaoxin observing cause and effect with his magic power, he received a large number of messages asking for Miaoxin's contact information on his blog, Weibo, WeChat, official account and QQ. Because there are too many messages, I haven't replied to many of them. At the beginning, I also helped some helpers to ask Miaoxin to observe, but later there were too many, and I could only choose a few serious diseases or urgent things. Why? There are too many people looking for, but Miaoxin has limited time. He teaches law at a university in Qinghai and is also a legal advisor to the Qinghai provincial government and military region. In addition to teaching students every day, I also have to practice hard when I come back. I often go out for meetings, study together, pilgrimages, seclusion. He said that there are dozens or hundreds of people a day to observe. After all, many things are for ordinary people who only have naked eyes. It's inexplicable. Moreover, he thought that Buddha's disciples should learn from Bodhisattva, so he did not charge a fee and helped each other free of charge. Therefore, in the face of a large number of help messages, I can submit them to Brother Miaoxin one by one. He helps free of charge, but what he needs to spend is his own time and energy. You can bother some people because of their curiosity or small things. I have met a lot of people with magic, both Buddhism and Taoism. But when it comes to accuracy, I would like to recommend Brother Miaoxin first. He doesn't need photos, names, birthdays and other information. He can be observed by thinking and verified in reality. From it, I can also understand the subtlety and truth of cause and effect. The following are 2 cases. Severe obsessive compulsive disorder. Brother, please try your best to help me contact Brother Miaoxin to see if he can help me. My obsessive compulsive disorder is really serious. The trash can in my bathroom is on the left side of the flush toilet. When I go to the toilet, I often doubt whether the dirty paper touches my hair and clothes. After thinking about it many times, I finally washed my hair and changed my outer clothes to rest assured. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy. It's so painful. I had very serious obsessive compulsive disorder in the 12th month of the lunar calendar last year. I had no choice but to write to Mr. Chen Kualin, who asked me to study the white bone view. I want to think about it. For the visual imagination, I didn't enter the door. It seems that I have to start from counting and breathing. In fact, this female resident was very powerful. It is caused by the possession of the undead, not the serious delusional habit of the individual. So the cultivation of the white bone view is actually not the right symptom, or the statement is not the right thing. The ancients may be effective for the cultivation of white bones, but the roots of modern people are probably difficult. King Lianqi note later, she also recited the sutra for several years, but she couldn't solve it. I didn't ask the female priest for any name and photo information. Brother Miaoxin, please help her take a look. Brother's mind to observe, and the information image that appears is, she has a female undead on her body, more than 30 years old, drowned. She replied, thank you for your help. Brother Miaoxin is really a god. In fact, I got Zhang Yuxian's phone call from Mr. Chen Kualin at the end of last year. She wrote a poem saying that a female predecessor who fell into the water and died was interfering. Later, I asked my family to learn that my husband's grandfather's second husband, the man, jumped into the water and died. The grandmother should have been in her 30s at that time. I told Zhang Yuxian the name and address of her grandmother who fell into the water and died, and they helped her return to the throne. People who die in an accident need to return to their positions first. As for the super degree, it said that it would wait until the 15th day of the 7th lunar month to unify the super degree. For Chaodu, according to the inspiration of Brother Miaoxin, I would like to say that there are 2 steps. First, find out the crux, that is, the needs of the dead. This step is very crucial. For example, some dead people miss their families and attach them to their descendants. You must first persuade him not to linger and leave well. This journey is over and introduce the benefits of the Pure Land. Instead of holding the spell as soon as you come up, if the dead resist, it will not have much effect. My father has a friend who has passed away. I heard from my mother that the friend once came back and possessed a friend's son, smiling, just like before his death. At that time, his friend's wife scolded him. You have left and came back to you. Is your brother's son worthy of your brother? You had such a good relationship when you were alive. How can you treat him like this now? Son. As he said, he couldn't laugh and felt ashamed. So he left. and the child returned to normal. Another time, a classmate from Guangxi High School said to me that there was a woman there who was possessed by a lonely ghost. The Taoist master did not leave, so he could only negotiate and asked her what she wanted to do. She said that after she died, she was helpless, often hungry in the cold, and had nothing to eat after leaving. Then asked her what she wants. He said he wanted to eat mung beans, so the Taoist master asked his family to stir-fry a bowl of mung beans for her to eat and left. The second is to set up a card by yourself. The yellow paper stands on the plate, put the offering, burns incense and recites the sutra, and then burns it. Do it for many days in a row. For those who are too much, it is recommended to recite Mahayana classics such as Jizong Sutra and Vajradhara Sutra, as well as mantras such as Immovable Buddha-S Heart Mantra, Buddha-S Top Zoom Shankarani, and Bauchi Intarani. Women with terminal diseases. A few days ago, a Tibetan senior brother came to me and said that his friend's wife was terminally ill, a strange blood disease. The doctor said that there was nothing he could do, and he also asked the Tibetan master to tell fortunes and recite a lot of scriptures. I want to invite Brother Miaoxin to have a look this time. I asked my senior brother to see the information he directly got. She had a dead man who was poisoned, about 40 years old, about 11 years old. After comparison, it was confirmed that she died of poison. Around 2005, it was her uncle, who was in his 40s. After asking the patient's family, he agreed to disclose the matter without saying the patient's real name. Brother Miaoxin is consistent with the observation of Duazikan Longyang Rinpoche. At the beginning of the illness, he asked Master Longyang to tell the fortune-telling. As a result, he asked the monastery to recite the Guanyin heart mantra hundreds of millions of times. The cost of reciting the temple was 200 yuan, and the patient himself recited 10 million Guanyin heart mantra. The patient's choice was to ask the temple to recite the sutra, but he did not cooperate with the Guanyin mantra. It may also be a lack of confidence. At that time, other teachers were also invited to tell fortunes. Most of them are large prescriptions, and the fee is thousands. Above the yuan, those who recite are all sutras such as Longevity Buddha, Medicine Buddha, and Baoxingderi. And Master Longyang is the only master who prescribes small prescriptions, and he is also the only master who requires patients to cooperate with the reciting super-class sutras, from which we can also see the evidence of Master Longyang. It is worthy of today as Nyingma faction to hold the bull as ears. Cause and effect are not true. Due to the complexity of the cause and fate of sentient beings, it is reasonable for many people to return to unjust relatives and predators and clans of all generations. Some of them are obstacles caused by ancestral restlessness. Although I also want to help more people, my time and energy are limited, so I want to ask a wonderful teacher. The brother looks at the previous life, looks for the lost and found, whether the girlfriend can come back. The wife as pregnant child gives birth to a boy and a girl, and the fate. This should be problems determined by the master, for personal fortune. And so on the questions I have seen, I have no time to help and reply. What should I do if I get sick? I suggest that you recite the Dizong Sutra or the Dizong Holy Name, and return to the Lihu. Momo. The life of ex-sick unjust relatives and creditors sentient beings, targeted return to solve the problem quickly. About fortune. A few days ago, someone asked me after graduating from college in 2002. I opened my own engineering company to do decoration until now. In the past 10 years, a lot of things have happened to himself, which is puzzled, and now he has fallen into the abyss of debt. He has borrowed millions and 300,000 yuan to repay usury. For more than 10 years, I have always felt that my life has not been better. I lie in the heat of water every day. Every time I earn some money through engineering, I will soon lose all my money. Now I'm in a desperate situation, and I don't know what to do. I want to sell my car and house to settle the debt, but I can pass the family test, which will also add a lot of trouble to the family. At the same time, I also need a car at work. I have been practicing Buddhism for several years. I have been very refined every day, but I have not seen any progress. I have recited the sutras and mantras hundreds of thousands of times, but there is no reaction at all, but there are more negative reactions. I really want to give up many times. I really don't know what to do. Brother, please help me observe what I should do. It's homework 600, 300 yuan. 000 yuan for the 4 conversions, 10 yuan for the yellow god of wealth, 20, 000 yuan for the name of the underground bodhisattva, 8, 000 yuan for the big head, and the big white umbrella cover, 30,000, Vajradhara Sutra, Jizong Sutra, Universal Sage's Wish, Sangha Sutra. I think his homework is relatively mixed. Ordinary people are not mentally strong enough. Compared with those great virtues in history, it is better to have majors and minors. On the other hand, if you want wealth, you should find a suitable method. I also looked at the photos of his family's Buddha platform, and the order of offerings to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas was not right. At that time, he was advised to do two things. One is to reselect the Dharma sect and arrange the Buddhist altar, and the other is to practice the earth treasure and the earth god. The pharmacist method is also acceptable. On the left side of the Jizong Bodhisattva can be the strong earth god, and on the right is the auspicious goddess. This protection method is complete. In fact, what we offer the object of nourishment is characterized by a kind of dharma, such as the bodhisattva of the earth and the sky. The earth is large and strong, and the cultivation and growth of all good roots. The auspicious heavenly girl is the treasure of merit and virtue, also known as the goddess of merit and virtue. All heavenly mothers, her practice can embrace all heavenly dragons, ghosts and gods, and can get the support and blessing of all heavenly people. Recently, I have received a lot of feedback from Jizong Bodhisattva and Jielu Disen. If you recite the short spell and the fat Santeing general every day, your work will be very smooth, and it will be surprisingly smooth to buy a house and raise money. There are those who recite the heart mantra of the earth and the holy name of the earth to return to the earth god, and are full of energy and do not sleep late. Some people get large orders a week after reading Dizong and Ditian. The practice of Jizong Bodhisattva and the firm earth god first. Recite the Dizong Sutra and the Dizong holy name first, and then recite the Jianjian Disen short mantra. First the self and then protect the law. Such an order. It can be half an hour or an hour a day to hide the holy number. Then recite the magic spell 1080 times and 3000 times. Firm God's heart spell, Blem Billy TV Yis Baha TV is the pronunciation of the English alphabet. Further deepening the practice is the direction of meditation and meditation. That is, use the 10 mind method to recite the holy name. Recite and hear. Recite clearly. Hear. Clearly, count from 1 to 10, and cycle back and forth. Over time, you will have fewer and fewer delusions. Gradually enter the fixed state, and give birth to Zen and Dharma joy. The most important thing is the growth of determination, which can surrender all troubles. I have been studying the Dizong Sutra. Maybe I have read too much, and I am too familiar with it. Now when I read the scriptures, I feel like a rereading machine. My mouth is reading, and my heart has already gone somewhere else. So I feel particularly numb when reading the scriptures now, because I can understand the benefits of the scriptures, and then I read a lot, and there is a new problem. In the process of reading the scriptures, I become stuttering and a little big tongue. As soon as I read it slowly, I spit it out clearly, or I know what the word is pronounced, but I can control it as something else. I'm so distressed. Many times, the next sentence comes out unconsciously before the eyes see the scripture. King Lianji replied, first, you need to build confidence. You should learn to think about the deep meaning of the Dizong Sutra and immerse yourself in the classical artistic mood, instead of taking the recitation as a form. The third is to recite the holy name of the earth and take your heart to recite. Your problem is mainly because your heart is still relatively heavy. You need to learn to cultivate concentration. This is the process of pulling your heart back, which is a practice. Slowly hone your heart. Pharmacist S method regarding the medicine master S method. Now some rich people in China are offering to the medicine master Buddha. Among them, there is a stock god, and there is a successful entrepreneurship in Shenzhen with a capital of more than 100 million yuan. A senior from Sichuan said that their vegetarian hot pot restaurant had just opened last year. It was located in a remote area, but the business was very popular. There are more than a dozen chains across the country this year, and the franchise fee is 1.7 million yuan. And the boss, the store is supplying the pharmacist Buddha. The content of the pharmacist S method will be introduced one after another in the future. About marriage. If husband and wife quarrel and their descendants are at discord, you can recite the spell. Ong Qi Lin Jin Zao Xing Jin Zan. Teeth make gold turn better than gold. Turn. Wu Jin Wei Rujia Jin Zao I am now for you are you to solve the golden path Za, Sheng Bu. Wei Rujia Jin Zao will not make a gold for you in the end. Ong Xiang Sheng Xiang, Xiang. Sheng Xiang, Ji Sheng Ji. Yoshina Keishi. Bo Luo Hui Shang Yu Shu Li there are pearls on the polo club. Li, Yi Chia Yuan Jia Hua Ji Xiang all enemies turn into auspiciousness. Mo He Bo Luo Mi Maha He type Bo be like Ri. Boramai. Every day 49 all over or 108 all over and over. Seeking marriage, you can write about asking your husband and wife. You can practice more Guanyin or Jizong. In my previous article on the universal products of Guanyin Bodhisattva, I mentioned that asking for children and asking for a family partner are the manifestations of the merits of cultivation. The object you ask for is corresponding to the merits you have created. Many people ask me about the magic goddess. I have not started to write its Sanskrit and cultivation, and I have not easily told how to pronounce it. It depends on the person's heart. Just like Brother Miaoxin has the effective method of attracting peach blossoms and attracting wealth, he prints the picture of fate and burns it, but I have been hesitating whether to release it. There is a senior sister who recites sutras and holds spells to beg for her husband. One day, she read my blog and read the magic spell in the blog. At night, she dreamed of a rice field with a clear river next to it. She and a friend are racing by the river. Half a year later, that friend is her current husband, which is quite a coincidence, and, of course, it is inseparable from the homework of the platform. There are other cases of rapid induction. A senior sister who had never met me dreamed that I was an ancient monk and taught her to recite the scale of heaven. Later, although I was determined to write the article of Tiannu, many fates appeared. If you want to get the induction material of this method, there will be a senior who will inadvertently send me his own induction. When there was no picture of Ji Tiannu on the internet, a senior brother suddenly sent me a portrait of Ji Tiannu he saw on a foreign website. Coincidentally, he was an art student. As for the pronunciation, it was also sent to me by brother Luo from Sichuan. The fate is incredible.